This week, I'll be taking you aboard United's 787-10 Dreamliner with the absolute basic economy ticket and showing you guys the entire experience from start to finish, including everything from the food, entertainment, and overall comfort of the entire journey. And so, let's start from the very beginning. Good morning and welcome to Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. Today we are going to be flying on United's basic economy from Chicago to Tokyo non-stop. And I'll be taking you guys along to show you what a totally basic economy with no upgrades, zero status type ticket gets you. With that, we're still an hour away from boarding, so we'll see you then. Before you knew it, our time to board has finally come. Of course, as to be expected, our group is the last one to board, but that is what you get when you book basic economy. So, without much else to say, I'll see you guys on board.
Oh, L? Yeah, okay, second aisle, please.
If you're seated in an exit row, now is a good time to review the safety card in the seat pocket in front of you. Please take a look, even if you are a frequent flyer, because each aircraft type is...
Alright, welcome aboard United's 787-10. We're here in row 57, all the way in the back for basic economy. Initial impressions, it's really not too bad. I'm going to be comparing this probably to ANA's 777. So from the start, my initial impression is the screen's a little bit smaller for entertainment. We'll take a look later and see what kind of in-flight entertainment options they have. On each seat they have a blanket and a pillow included, so pretty standard for most flights. The initial feel of the seat, I'd say the back is pretty stiff. The seat itself feels fine for now, but I guess I'll let you know as the flight continues on. The legroom is actually pretty decent. I know ANA has a couple more inches, but even for someone like myself at 5'11", I don't really see any issues with it. The windows are pretty well sized. I guess I got pretty unlucky and I'm right in between two windows on my row. I suppose if I move my head a little bit back, it should be alright. But overall, I think it's pretty good visibility. The windows are quite big too, so I don't really have too many complaints. What's interesting is these are the dimming windows, so if you press this button here, it should auto dim the window. And I guess I'll be trying that on the flight. I'll try this one as well at some point and see how it looks. The plane itself is laid out in a 333 configuration, which gives you a little bit more seat width than if you were to fly in a 343 configuration. I know everyone always talks about legroom, but I feel like seat width is just as important too. It's 3 inches less than ANA's, but honestly I don't really seem to notice too much of a difference here. With everyone on board, we push back from the gate and headed out to the runway. Our route today took us north out of Chicago, first crossing over Wisconsin and then arcing west across Canada and Alaska before finally setting across the Pacific Ocean. Flight time today was 13 hours on the dot, cruising at 36,000 feet. And so then it is time for the first meal service of the flight. Today we are having a shiitake mushroom sesame chicken along with their standard salad, dinner roll, and cheesecake brownie. And now when I say shiitake mushroom, I mean it's just this one piece at the very top. The rest of it is pretty mushy, and for the most part it's flavorless, except for the sauce they used on the chicken. That part was actually pretty good. The alternative to this was a cavi-tapi pasta, and unfortunately I don't have any pictures of that. So now would be a good time to review the in-flight entertainment. I will say, at least from an entertainment standpoint, United does a very decent job with providing enough movies and TV shows. I appreciate how they include several movies from the same series. It might not be the entire set, but it's a lot better than other airlines where they only have the first movie and nothing else. So if you get really into a series while you're on your flight, at least you can binge a decent part by the time the flight is ended. But I have to say, serving 3 ads before any movie you watch is diabolical. I can't believe this practice has also made it onto airlines. But what can you do? It seems like everyone is headed that way nowadays. And something else to mention, unfortunately my screen ended up locking up midway through the flight. I'm not going to count this against United, I think it was just a fluke, but it was still really unfortunate that it happened. Luckily, I still had a few movies saved on my phone, so it ended up being okay. Not long after, the cabin crew turned off the lights for the first sleep period.
Welcome everyone to the 6-hour update. So far the flight's been going pretty well. We had our first meal. Right now they turned off the lights so that people could sleep. I guess a few things that I want to mention. The seat ended up being pretty okay. I ended up sticking a pillow behind my back so it doesn't feel too bad. I will say though, the in-flight entertainment screen never came back, so as you can see, it is still stuck on full brightness and you can't do anything. I will say that is pretty annoying for sure, but otherwise the flight's been going pretty well. It's been quiet. They've been pretty good about coming by, offering water, and it's been very comfortable. There's been very little turbulence and whatnot, so I've been pretty happy with it so far. Anyways, stay tuned and I'll catch you at the next meal.
Luckily to distract me, we were beginning to cross the beautiful views of the frozen Alaskan wilderness. You could see the endless snow-covered mountains on the super clear day.
It's time for the bathroom review. Today we're taking a look here at the bathroom in economy. Pretty standard, it's pretty modern, clean. Something you'd probably get on every 787, so you've probably seen a bunch of videos before. Nothing really stands out, just a standard bathroom. So that's it.
After a few more hours, it was time for our second meal, a choice between a tomato mozzarella sandwich and a chicken sandwich. First off, can I say, what the heck are these ingredients in the chicken? The word chicken doesn't even appear until the 5th item down. As you can expect, the taste is kind of bland, but at least they served it all heated up, so I mean, I guess that's something. Another sleep cycle later, and our final pre-arrival meal was served. A choice between stuffed pancakes or a more traditional eggs, potatoes, and sausage breakfast. Honestly, I actually enjoy this one. It tastes super similar to what you might find at something like a Comfort Inn or a Holiday Inn. Yeah, it's still super manufactured and not really that luxurious, but adding the fruit and the croissant actually makes it pretty decent. Not much longer after that, the first sight of land came back into view as we paralleled down the coast of Japan. The sun provided a beautiful glow on the clouds as we approached the outer regions of the Tokyo Metro before making our final approach into Haneda and bringing our time on this United flight to an end. In total, the flight costed $1,070 round trip, including a leg from Milwaukee to Chicago that I didn't record here. I still find it so impressive that you can find sub $1,000 flights to Japan from the central part of the US on United's website if you have flexible dates. For those of you who don't care about loyalty programs, I even recommend trying to book these United flights through ANA's website, because then you'll be able to pick your seats, have a free checked bag, and get at least one leg of the journey on the superior ANA flights, all for the same price, even in basic economy. In my case, I had 3 out of the 4 flights being on United, but because I booked on ANA, I had their baggage and seat rules apply to all of the flights. Although as a heads up for anyone who is in the United loyalty program, the ANA flight will only qualify for half the miles. But if you're like me, then that doesn't matter at all. Getting to fly on ANA is definitely worth it. Having the free seat selection on all the flights and baggage rules apply is totally worth it. And according to Google, even if you lose out on those 1,500 United miles, it's only worth around $18. So you have to ask yourself if those $18 are really worth it to you. And so that brings me to the end of the video. Is United's basic economy worth it? The answer depends on the kind of person you are, but to me, absolutely. Would I pay more to upgrade? Well, for a person like myself, no, I don't really see the value, especially when you put into terms of how many plates of sushi or bowls of gyudon you can buy with the difference. I'd rather spend the money where I'm going and not on the flight. And there we go, that brings us to the conclusion of the video. Thanks guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Make sure you guys stay tuned for my next videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.